welcome to the channel. This is episode 2 of me reupholstering my office chair. If you watched my first episode, you'll know that in the first episode, I tackled the armrests. Today, I am going to tackle the seat. So let's get reupholstering. And oh, if you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome. If you're returning back, welcome, welcome, welcome back. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. I can wait. All right, now that we got all that business out of the way, let's do some reupholstering. I have already begun to disassemble the seat. I've taken the nut caps off already. And so now I'm going to find the right tool to disassemble this seat. And I don't know if I have it. I may have to go into the toolbox. Nope, this will work. So I'm just going to take these bolts off, and I have a little sheet of paper on my desk that is going to tell me where all these nuts and bolts are coming from. That way, when I go to put this chair back together, I'll be able to do so with a little bit less difficulty than if I had no idea where I took these bolts from. My chair actually came to me already assembled, so there was nothing I had to do other than just sit down in it and use it. So that's bolt number 1. I'm going to take the rest of these bolts off camera because you all don't want to see that. Oh, you know what? Y'all might want to see that. Let me speed this up. One arm down, another arm to go. Second arm down. Now that I've taken the arms off, I need to take the bolts from the base off. That's the only way I'm going to be able to take the seat off of this chair. So, time to take the bottom off. That's bolt number 1. The chair has now been released from the base. This was the last screw to come out. So now the back is off and the seat is off of the rolling mechanism. So now it's time to take the bottom portion, or I think this is called the dust cover, off of the chair, and then I can start removing the material, and then we'll get to reupholstering. I have readjusted my sitting situation so that I can take these staples out of the back of this seat. Now, this is not going to be any different than my previous video of how I took staples out of the armrest, but I'm going to try to be a little more careful because I do not want to damage this dust cover. I want to get these staples out with as little damage to the dust cover as possible. So I'm just going to take my time and lift up these staples and try to get them out, and then I will go from there. All of the staples have been taken out of the dust cover, and so I am now going to remove the dust cover, and there are a lot of more staples yet to go. Now I'm actually sitting on the backrest, so it's making noises, and if you hear any noises, it's just the backrest. All right, I am actually going to take out all of these staples, and I am not going to show you guys this because you've actually seen me taking out staples before, and all this does is make the video much larger. So I am just going to sit here and take out all these staples, and I'll be back when it's time to take the tufting. I guess it's called tufting, I'm not sure, or when it's time to take these out and when it's time to take off the fabric. So I'll be back momentarily. All the staples have been removed, and I have removed the cover off of the seat of the chair. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of batting to give it a little bit more plushness, and hopefully this slit where they had like a button will get covered, because I don't want to put a button here. I want it to be a smooth, solid surface. So I'm going to add some batting, and hopefully well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm also going to add some foam. Let me get some foam. I'm going to stick some foam in here to kind of even this out so it's not so far apart. And that way when I put the batting on, it will be smooth and it won't dip in right here. So let me get some foam. I have some foam from another project. I have a piece of foam here, and I've never done this before. So I'm new to upholstery. I don't know if I'm doing any of this right, but I'm doing this to suit my needs and my needs only. This is my chair. So I'm just going to do my best to do what I think makes sense. And from what I've learned, the best way to cut foam is to use a electric knife. I don't have an electric knife, so these are my sewing scissors, and I am just going to cut it with my sewing scissors. And these are some really sharp scissors, so it's cutting relatively well. Now I'm probably going to need to get another tiny piece. Then again, this might just work as is, but I'm not certain. But yeah, I'm going to take another tiny piece, and I'm going to put a tiny piece right there. That way it is an even piece of batting or foam. There we go. Put that foam out of the way, and I'm just going to take the foam and try and pull it towards this end right here, and kind of make it as level as I can, and then push this piece in like that, and that way hopefully it won't be as noticeable, because this is meant to have a button in it, and I don't want buttons in the new chair. So this is the batting that I bought, and I don't know, like I said, if this is going to work or not. There was some batting on the bottom of the material that I took off of the chair, so it was attached probably with glue, but it was attached to the material. And as a matter of fact, before I put this on here, let me show you guys. Let me just lift this up right quick. This is the material that I pulled off of the chair, and as you can see, it had some tufting. I don't know how else to explain that, but it had some tufting there, and it was secured by this string here, and I don't want to do this. So this is what I mean by it had some type of batting, and so I'm just going to add some batting to hopefully give this a little more cushion, which is what I would like. And as you can see, that chair, the material is really shedding all over. So I'm gonna try to figure out how I want this done. Do I want to unroll it? Do I want to leave it like this and just cut it this way? That way I have several layers, because this will give me about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers if I just cut it straight across like this. And that's what I think I might do. I think I might just cut it straight across like this. And if I need more batting for another project, I'll just have to go and buy more. Because I actually bought this for a different project. However, I feel as if this will be a good use, excuse me, this will be a good use for this project. So I'm going to just kind of eyeball it like so and cut it. And I want to make sure that I get enough, that way I can attach it to the bottom, and when it hits you up under your knees, your cushion. I hope that makes sense. This is the front, and this is where your knees are going to hit the cushion of the seat. And I want to make sure that here is nice and cushiony and that there's enough padding. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I hope you guys can hear me. I do apologize. I think I might have muffled my microphone. I'm going to tip this up a little bit, and I'm going to start cutting the batting. So I'm going to move this over just a smidgen so you guys can see. I hope you guys can see. And where did I drop my scissors? Here we are. And so I'm just going to cut this batting with my scissors, just like so, just straight across. And it's kind of hard because I am trying to balance this with my knee. So I'm just going to cut this straight across like so. Hope you guys can see. And I'm trying to cut through all of the layers, trying to get it as straight as I can. There we go, and almost done. There we go. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to staple. Let me move this batting out of the way. I'm going to staple the front of this batting down to the base of the chair. And that way it doesn't lift up when I am going to start putting the fabric. So let me place this down and turn it over this way and start stapling. So this chair has turned into a very challenging project, but I'm not going to give up. I am going to take this batting and staple it down in order for the chair to have a bit of plushness to it. So I'm just going to go around and staple this batting around the front, and then I'm going to place the upholstery on it. I'm not going to staple this around the entire chair. I'm just going to affix it down to the front. Now that the front half has been stapled, I'm going to tuck over the corners and staple both corners down as well. I needed to pick my work surface up off of the floor. It was no longer working for me down there. So now I am up here on a higher surface, and I am going to start tacking down my fabric on the chair. Now keep in mind there's going to be a dust cover on the base of this chair, so I don't need to pull my fabric all the way far into the chair. Now I could probably move my fabric down a smidgen more, like to right here, and that will be fine. I'm trying to make sure that I have enough fabric that I can upholster the back of the chair as well. So I just want to make sure that I have plenty of fabric to be able to do that. So I'm just going to move it down just a little bit. Let's see, where is it? So this is the end of the wood right here. And I might be cutting it a little bit close, but this is my chair. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to tack it down in the center. And then I'm going to work my way around. I hope you guys could hear that. Sometimes when I use my staple gun, my microphone makes a funny noise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed this up. I'm going to tack this down, and then I will be right back. Now I'm at the point where I need to do the back of the chair. I need to staple the fabric on the back. So I'm going to pull the fabric as taut as I can, but not too taut because I don't want it to pucker. And I'm going to staple it on, and then, and only then, am I going to cut it off, because I want to try to save as much of this fabric as I can so that I can reupholster the back half of the seat that touches your back, not the entire back portion, but just the part that touches your back. Before I cut the back portion of this off, I haven't completely finished stapling it yet. I've just affixed it down. I'm going to staple it completely. That way I have no missing staples. And then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to work on the two front corners. Now I'm going to try and tack down these corners. Hope you guys can see. Yeah, I think you guys can see that. Shift it a little bit more. There we go. Excuse me. I've had a frog in my throat all day. So on the corners, I am not a professional upholsterer, but I am going to try to make this look as pretty as I can. And from what I understand, you're supposed to make it look like a present. Well, I can't wrap presents, so I'm not sure how this is going to look. So I am going to try to staple this down. I'm going to speed it up so that you guys don't hear the staple or the stapler or me stapling, and we'll go from there. I believe I stapled all of my corners down, well, my two front corners down well. And I will show you all what that looks like in a moment. I'm looking for my scissors because I need to now trim off the excess fabric carefully, because I need this excess fabric for 2 more projects for this trip. I have my scissors and it's time to trim off the fabric. And like I said, I'm going to try to be very mindful of how I'm trimming this fabric, because I need to use this fabric for 2 more projects. Now, I just told you guys about the first project. The first one is I'm going to put a back on the chair, and I want to use this fabric to do that, the remaining pieces of fabric. I also would like to make piping. It'll be my first time trying to make piping, so I want to save as much fabric as I can. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I can't see. I'm going to be cutting the fabric at the back, so let me move you guys back. Okay, we're on this side of the chair, and I am going to start cutting, trying to be very careful, making sure I am only cutting the fabric that I need to cut and not the fabric that's stapled to the chair. I don't want any accidents. All right, making sure that my fabric is out of the way. All right, now it's time to cut the fabric off the back, and that's the tricky part. That's the tricky part for me. So let me turn. Before I cut this fabric, I need to staple down these corners on this end. So let me gather this up and try to make it pretty like I did the front. And I'll show you what this looks like when I am done with gathering and stapling in just a moment. I have stapled down the back of the chair. I have stapled down the corners. And now I'm going to try to cut off this excess fabric, and hopefully, fingers crossed, y'all, fingers crossed, toes crossed, eyes crossed, that I have fabric left to do the remaining portion of this project. And I hope you guys can hear me. I didn't realize my microphone had slipped down, and so I hope you all heard what I was saying and it wasn't too muffled. Okay, so let me try and cut off this fabric. I hope you guys can see. I have it bunched, so there really is no way for me to make it pretty when I cut it because it's all bunched up right here, but I'm going to do my best. So I'm just going to cut it like that. And I'm going to shift it and keep cutting. And I moved all of my fabric out of the way so I don't have any of my excess down here where I could accidentally damage it and cut it by mistake. All right, so now we're at this corner here. So let's just, can you guys see? As if you guys can tell me, yeah, girl, I can see. Or no, I can't see, move over. That's okay. I know you guys are with me. Even if I can't hear you tell me what you have on your mind. But you know how you can tell me? In the comment box. There we go. So I have cut off my fabric, and I'm going to move my fabric out of the way over there. And when I am ready to look at it, I will cross my fingers and hope that it is enough for the other project. So now let's reveal what this looks like on the opposite side. There we go. Now guys, I feel like I did something. I did something here, y'all. This is the back side and this is the front side down there. I feel like I did something. Ooh, isn't she pretty? Ooh, she is beautiful. I cannot wait for this to come together. So, okay, let's put the dust cover on. All right, here is the dust cover. And I just need to make sure that all the screw holes line up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I staple this side first because I have a little bit of fabric that actually covers it some. So I'm going to just fold that back like that and staple it down just like this, making sure that all of the holes are visible. And as you guys know, I am not going to staple with you all watching. I'm going to have to speed it up because my microphone doesn't like it. Everybody, everybody, everybody. The dust cover is back on. The chair fabric looks amazing. And now it's time to put this on the base. So let's get it back on. Instead of working upside down, I decided to pull the base up and have it rest where it is a lot easier for me to access the nuts and bolts. So I'm just going to screw these back in. And I'm actually going to speed this up so that you guys don't have to watch this real time. I feel so overwhelmed with joy right now. I am not done with the chair, but I have upholstered both arms and the seat, and I've affixed it to the base. So I feel so good. I think this looks absolutely amazing. Can you guys see that? Isn't that pretty? Look at that. I did that, and this is my first time upholstering a chair. Amazing. That's one fine looking chair, and it's not done yet. Now, this video feels like it took forever to reupholster the seat. So you know what's going to happen. Don't be mad. Don't laugh. In the next episode, I am going to attempt to finish the last half of the seat. Now, that's a pretty big back. It's a front side, two sides, and a back. So I have no idea how that's going to work out. I know it's going to be a bit of a to-do because it has a lot of staples in it, and I have to remove a lot of staples. Y'all. So if you want to see that, stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, come on and subscribe. You know you want to see the next episode. Join the ClausenWorld family and see what happens next. See me finish this beautiful chair. Until then, I'll see all of you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye. 1, 2, 3.